Dude, it's crazy that you guys are here. It really is. We all met on the fucking internet. Here we are doing the fucking dirty. So, with that said, welcome to the F'd Up podcast, and I thank you guys for being here. So, if you guys want to introduce yourselves, if you don't mind throwing out where they can follow you, or if you're Lucas, don't. But
actually, you stole the words out of my mouth. My name is Blockchain Boy, or Lucas. Been in crypto since 2017. Been making content about crypto since 2021. Been building in crypto since 2018. Probably should have put that in categorical order, but you know, if you know me, cool. If you don't find me.
Cool. That works.
Yeah, my name is Aaron, content creator, entrepreneur. I started Blocks and Zoomer Capital with these guys here and everything, and I'm heavily involved in ICP. So, yeah.
My name's Tyler.
All right. Bullish.
Bullish.
That's what we are, man. My name's Leo, better known as Crypto with Leo on socials. Content creator, entrepreneur, CEO of Zoomer, which is a Web3 marketing agency. Honestly, like you said, thank you for being an amazing host, first of all. And just thank you for having us, because honestly, the power of the internet is beautiful. Especially in this sector, you really realize how much of a small world that is that we work in. So to actually link up with like-minded people, be able to connect with them, sit down and have a legit conversation about this sector and what's going on is genuinely a gift, because more time when I'm back at home in the UK, my friends have no clue what's going on. I can't even explain my job to my family. It's crazy, bro. But I'm just happy to be around cool people.
That'll be a good topic for us to discuss too. Is fucking like people like us, right? Your associations. So we'll go over that, but
yeah, because most people are just not in the space, and it's all happening so quickly. Like,
who the fuck are you?
Exactly, dude. I guess I should start there. My name's Patrick, or that_investor, or this investor, because X suspended my that investor handle, and I'd make a new one. But yeah, I make crypto content with all these guys. I'm also building out the company Blocks and Zoomer Capital. My entire brand is wrapped around decentralized science, which I'm sure we will get into in a little bit. But I did want to say thank you. Those crab legs for dinner were amazing.
Thank you.
Actually, I kept forgetting to dip them in the butter. They were so delicious.
Awesome.
They were bullish.
Yeah. You've never had crab.
That was the first time ever in my life, and I'm not even a seafood guy.
Fucking Europeans are weird.
You know what it is, man? It's something about the smell of fish just puts me off.
You know, it might be because I visited your mother one too many times, and the smell emanated from the bedroom.
Honestly,
you know?
I just feel sorry for my mom. But you know what the crazy thing is? It's the fact. It's the fact that crab legs look like witch fingers, and that shit puts me off. But once you get inside them, they're fucking delicious. So I'm not.
I can attest.
Oh my god, this is so. And here's the funny part of all of this is that this podcast is faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun.
Fishy things, exactly, yeah.
And fishy things. So we're gonna have to cut some of this out, I think. The R-rated version.
Run with it.
The world needed another podcast of a bunch of white guys in a room, and I'm happy to be contributing to that.
There's one black guy over there.
Yeah, the one black guy's not on camera though. That's what I'm saying. Come on now. We need some diversity in here, bro.
You gotta show your face real quick. So come say hi. Come say hi. This is, and if you guys don't know the man behind the curtain here, this is Javi, my producer. Give him a shout out. He's awesome, and we're gonna be building him up. So, but anyways, no, that was awesome. No, I mean seriously, this is gonna be a great bull run. We're gonna be talking about crypto and everything crypto and maybe some more. So, I guess where do we start off? What's the first subject you guys want to go over? You want to talk about when you first got in?
I want to say we're almost at all-time highs, and it's not even had the halving yet
Facts.
for Bitcoin.
What the fuck
$64,000 Bitcoin, and we got like 40 days left before the halving.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Which, by the way, the halving may occur on 420, and if that happens, we're going so much higher, bro.
Yeah.
Because you gotta admit, like, the simulation has just given up giving us anything like questionable. It's just like, hey, we're just gonna make the funniest thing happen and fuck everything else, basically.
You know what's funny is when you like tap into the simulation, sounds crazy, but you start realizing how obvious everything is and the way it plays out. Like the world we live in is legitimately predictable. It's quite creepy. I'm not saying we get everything right. You definitely do not. But everything that does happen, especially in crypto, like look at it, we have 4-year cycles. The same shit happened 4 years ago. Like
cigars are fucking with my nose.
need some edits, bro. This Simon's going like half sneeze. It's straight just scream, bro.
Dude, one of
It sounds like he's gonna have a heart attack every time he sees
Dude,
it.
one of these days,
It's on edge, bro.
an aneurysm is going to happen when I sneeze. And there's a small chance of that, actually. Every time you sneeze, there's like a 0.01% chance that
Your percentage is higher.
That, it's gotta be.
64k pre-harbing. Guys, this has never happened before. And it really is as simple as there's only one reason, and that's with the institutions entering this market. It has to be. These ETFs, like,
Absolutely.
were you guys always bullish on the ETFs? Because there was some like retards out there who were saying it wasn't going to be bullish.
Dude, I've always been bullish on the ETFs. Think about it. How much money wants to get into this, but they don't want to go and try to figure it out on their phone, right? And okay, so what are they gonna go do?
Mm-hmm.
These are guys that have millions and millions and millions and millions of fucking dollars, right? You think they're gonna go in on their phone and go fucking put a fucking $50 million on fucking Coinbase through their phone? Of course not.
You know what it is?
Right?
It's self-custody. They don't want to do it.
Dude, think about it. So billionaires, I've met a handful of them. I spent time with a billionaire last week, and me and Javi are gonna be with a billionaire.
That subtle flex
3
right
days
there.
from now. What's that?
That subtle flex right there. Because I was just having breakfast with a billionaire. We're gonna.
No,
be
I'm
another
dead
one.
serious though. Like flex or not, it's true. And having conversation with the guy, right? He bought a little bit of Bitcoin. The guy's worth almost $1 billion though, right? And he goes, so what about this ETF? Like I don't know what to do with crypto. I said, just go fucking buy it from BlackRock then. And he goes, yeah, you can do that now, huh? And dude, his mind is spinning, and that's gonna keep on happening. And that's gonna bring in fucking trillions of dollars. And this is, you gotta remember too, this isn't just the U.S. Although, yes, the U.S. just approved the ETFs, but the U.S. leads the charge in anything in the world, right? Would you agree?
Yes,
It leads the
yes,
charge.
without a doubt.
So now the entire world is like, oh shit, my dad just bought. Daddy US just bought. Well, maybe we should now. And it legitimizes it globally. And this is the first time in history we've ever had a global asset that is easy to buy, right? Gold was not always easy to buy, right? Not only that, but like, you can't really track it, right? Bitcoin, you can track everything. So anyways,
You know what the cool
I think
thing is? It's
we're
like
bullish.
it's a blatant middle finger to the government. Because Larry Fink stepped in when the government was just being, sitting on the edge of their seats, refusing to provide any sort of clarity to the space, refusing to, support, just regulating it through enforcement. Let's put it that way. That's what a lot of these agencies in the US are doing. And they're just trying to pick the money out. Larry Fink and all these the largest financial institutions in the world. Arguably, these men are like more powerful than the governments themselves and women. Sorry, Mark. But honestly, if you actually look at how much Bitcoin is being acquired by them every single day, it's in the thousands. Like these institutions are buying thousands of Bitcoin every single day.
What does it equate to an actual dollar value? What is it? Because this ETF has been the most successful ETF ever
Billions.
launched.
It's billions right now.
Billions.
And what's funny is that this is just some fucking thing that some dude spun up in his basement, basically. That now has become legitimized. Like all blockchain is the ability to create money anywhere by anyone at any time, and it feels like this really does deserve its own asset class as far as regulations go. And I gotta be honest, Larry Fink getting on national television and shilling our bags. That I don't know how that man is not tripping over his own cock when he gets up out of the morning, out of his bed, because dude, this shit is going so much higher. If you understand how monetary policy works, if you understand supply and demand, if you understand tokenomics, dude, Bitcoin is literally designed to go up forever. It is a built-in supply shock for basically hundreds of years.
Go to the year 2150.
Yeah, so that's actually the original Ponzi coin. Because if you think about it, the halving is literally only designed to make it go up. That's basically it. Because he didn't have to put that in there.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if you guys recently saw the tweet from Edward Snowden talking about how he personally believes that there's
Fucking FBI's calling me now, man.
that there.
What the fuck?
Edward Snowden.
I'm just kidding.
I'm so confused. I was like,
What the fuck?
what the hell? Yeah, the Edward Snowden just recently put out a tweet talking about how he personally believes that a government has bought Bitcoin, but they have not come out and said it publicly. And I think we are going to see in this cycle governments coming out and saying they have
He
bought.
said that?
Yeah, he tweeted it out just recently.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
No
I'm not sure if you guys saw it. It just happened in the past couple of days.
Well, you know
And
what's
I
funny?
completely
Sorry, just to
believe
clarify. Yeah, the US government and the Chinese government as well are two of the biggest holders of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The US government has something like 200,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's
How they got it,
Well, they took it from other
they take
people.
it from people.
It's like, oh, you got scammed, and we're gonna seize that asset and then just hold on to it forever and never give it back. And now all of a sudden they're up there with
they're
Satoshi.
literally in the top 5. I think they're fourth.
Yeah. I don't
They
know
have
off the top of my
literally have around 200,000 Bitcoin, which is absolutely insane.
The U.S. government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
That's what not.
They're one of
made
the
a
mega
video.
whales.
I made a video about this like 6 months ago, being like why is no one paying attention to this? Because the bear market for all of us were there throughout the bear market.
Yep.
What a fucking crazy ride. You know what's nuts? I tweeted about it yesterday. I was just like, I was taking pretty much 70-80% of everything I was earning over the past 2 years and just putting it into crypto. And it was just like, for me, I never had like a stress in my mind. It was nuts. Like when you think about what you're actually doing, you're putting majority of your net worth into an asset class that is extremely volatile. But like just the conviction I have in this space, and this is what I mean when I say it's predictable. You have to understand, do not get stuck in like euphoria. You need to, be aggressive, take your profits.
Not
think
financial
about forever.
advice.
Exactly. Me personally, I'm playing this aggressive.
What's your top industry, if I can ask?
Well, like sector-wise?
Yeah, for crypto.
This is actually a great question because there's a couple, but I know you are much more educated on one, which I will not mention. But the top one I would say is tokenization. And that's because the way I like to look at things, I've always like researched things very heavily, and I like to see where the money is actually flowing. And I'm not just talking about money as in like within the crypto industry, but money outside of it as well. Larry Fink at the beginning of 2023, and very early, he made a speech announcing that the next generation for the markets is tokenization. And if you watch throughout the whole of 2023, every financial institution, every large bank, etc., was coming out stating how they were moving towards a tokenized market, basically.
I did want to hear that Larry said, he said that
he did. He
like
said,
a month ago.
The quote was literally that, and this is the thing. He said it a year ago. That's what I'm saying.
That is true.
I did a video on it, bro. It got like 3 million views, and you know what? All the comments were like, "Fuck BlackRock, fuck these people," and it's like, guys, like,
Little do they know that that's the reason why they're going to make a bunch of money.
hate these people all you want, but fucking at least abuse the power they have with them. Like, fuck, make money with them. Like, you can't. Your hate isn't going to stop them moving forward. That's the craziest part.
Let me say this. I've been in the crypto industry since 2017. It's grown and changed a lot. And, I'll say this. I think we've lost the war of decentralization. That was a libertarian pipe dream. What we're seeing is like the natural evolution of this technology. And at the end of the day, the U.S. government can drone strike any Bitcoin miner that they want to at any time. So is it really decentralized when you're running the world? Not really, but here's the thing. There is like a small sliver of real decentralization that will survive from this through things like decentralized science or decentralized physical real world infrastructure like what Render is doing. And so there are like a lot of really cool innovations in the space, but just remember, daddy government is here and they want their cut. And it's not just in taxes. They want to be the ones, just like the stock market, where they have that ultimate oversight. So you just got to be accepting of that. Like, there's a thin line between having conviction and being a retard. And you got to take your profits, know that this stuff is being manipulated. Obviously, none of us are financial advisors. We're literally in some guy's basement. So if you listen to this, you deserve to lose money. But at the end of the day, this market is going places.
100%. The demand is there for it. The craziest thing right now as well is that no one's really speaking on is no one is like paying attention. Like if you go outside of the realm of, your crypto TikTok, crypto YouTube, crypto Twitter, no one is talking about it. Like I'll go to the pub with my friends back in the UK. I don't receive a single question. In fact, this is no word of a lie. None of them even really know what I do. It's crazy. Yeah. And even if they did, they wouldn't care because they don't want to understand what is actually going on. The craziest thing is, in a year, 12 months, 18 months down the line, that's when they're going to fucking ask us.
Yeah.
That's when I'm selling.
That's when I'm selling.
That is a good one, right? When your grandmother starts to ask you about fucking Dogecoin, it's time to offload your bags.
But last cycle, my 80-year-old father gave me like $5,000 to put into Shiba Inu, and I was like, well, I'm gonna hold on to this. I don't think I'm gonna actually buy Shiba Inu. It was actually the top of the market. Like,
see,
when those types of people,
his own dad. That's awesome.
I saved him money. That's all I'm gonna say. Like 90% of his money, I saved him. But when those types of people start coming to you asking for, oh my God, what's happening with this Bitcoin thing? Like, that's probably a good sign to know that the market is a little bit too frothy and bubblicious. But at the same time, you never know in this market. Truthfully, it could just do another 2x. Like you really don't know. I know right now, pre-halving, that we are still disgustingly early to what the market has in store for us, especially with the ETF and then potentially an Ethereum ETF. The only caveat, obviously, is that we go into a major global recession, but that's always on the table. So
That's always on the table. Well, you say potentially with the ETF with Ethereum, BlackRock doesn't get denied. They've been denied one time, and then they resubmitted, and they got that was it. So they really haven't been denied.
Yeah.
Right. Like they're fucking 501. Right.
I know it's like. Let me stop. This is a little too based. But switching gears, I think ultimately, like, the average person is kind of stupid. I think we can agree. Like, it's unfortunate that they...
Uneducated.
And it's not their fault, ironically. Some of it is because you've got to get off the porch at some point, but, like, the system does not set you up to understand monetary policy or finance in general. It's just like, just do your job and pay to the 401k and just work till you're dead, and then, that's it. And, when people wake up to that, it becomes a bit of an issue. So, at the end of the day, how much are they really going to understand about this crypto stuff? I think Bitcoin has a role to play, but it all depends on how they're marketing it. Like Aaron just showed me the World Economic Forum started shilling Bitcoin mining. That was a W shill.
For sure.
Like the World Economic Forum being partnered up with like a fair few crypto projects as well.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at who's on the World Economic Forum board or partnered or whatever, Larry Fink's on there, and of course Larry Fink is the CEO of BlackRock, which is the largest asset manager in the entire world, and they're now shilling Bitcoin. They have their their Bitcoin product, and they're soon probably gonna have their Ethereum product. And once the Ethereum ETF gets approved, that's gonna leave it's going to open the gates to a possible, Solana ETF and et cetera. And I don't see why he wouldn't continue to go down the route to get more and more ETFs, because at the end of the day, if he does not choose to go and get those ETFs, then all these other countries and, institutions, whatever, are going to get that liquidity, because the liquidity is here and it's not going anywhere. So
the cat is out of the bag.
Yeah.
Somebody important told me that.
Versus the Ethereum ETF. When is that going to happen? What did they say? It's 2 months after the halving, right?
Yes, mid-year. So with the halving's in April. I think right now it's predicted on April 20th or 19th. And I just want to make clear, guys, like the halving is always a good indicator as to when the bull run is starting. So for context, the halving happens every 4 years. Historically, if you go back and look at the chart, historically, whenever the halving happens, you tend to see an uprising on the chart, being the bull run is starting. Now, of course, technically,
you think we'll see a pullback before, like?
So interestingly, as it acts as a good indicator, there's actually always a lag effect after the halving, typically, which is where the halving happens. There's high anticipation that it's just going to punch straight through, and then what you tend to see is the opposite of what the whole masses thinks is going to happen, and you might see a slight dump, etc., or just consolidation sideways before the shoot up. However, reality is it's going to go higher, but just anticipate there's a lag effect after the halving.
So I want to talk about this real quick. So we have so much buying happening with the ETF, right? And at some point, just so you guys that are new into crypto, what's going to happen is the supply of Bitcoin being created gets cut in half. That's why they call it the halving event, for those of you that are new, right? And we're right now buying... the ETF alone is buying more Bitcoin, or more money is going into these ETFs now than is available that the miners are able to mine. And now it's going to get cut in half in 50 fucking days, right? So, like, is this going to be different? Are we going to see this thing just keep fucking ripping with, like, minor pullbacks? Or is it going to be the same fucking way? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a possibility that this thing just keeps fucking ripping
I want to
because of
say,
that?
like, something is like, in every bull run, like in the previous ones, and I've been like, I was around in 2 of them, but as in like I wasn't really too involved in the first one. Last year I was heavily involved. But what's always been the speculation is the institutions are coming. Like everyone's been waiting for this day where the institutions are buying crypto, they're adopting it, etc. And it's like now we are physically at that point. And it's happening at a scale that no one really expected. You know what's crazy as well? 6 months before the ETF got approved, there was an ex-BlackRock executive who did a speech in an event, and he literally said the exact way it would play out. And it was the most bullish way possible. All ETFs were approved on the exact same day, which meant every financial institution it was in their interest to market the fuck out of their own ETF.
Right.
So that's why all these institutions, and the demand is so high right now, is because all of them are fighting for the liquidity. Like, so all of them are having to accumulate, market like fuck, and just get in as much liquidity as they can. Of course, the executive said, or ex-executive said, BlackRock is always going to win that fight. But the point you're making is, how crazy is this going to go? It's more of like I don't think you can really comprehend what's about to happen, to the sense, we haven't seen demand for Bitcoin and crypto in general, because it all triples down. We haven't seen demand like this before.
And then you got I read an article the other day. You got Wells Fargo, right? Bank of America through Merrill Lynch, right? Because that's their subsidiary, essentially, right? They are opening up, or they're buying Bitcoin, and they're opening up to their customers, and like so the banking institution is about to get into this, not just
Which is interesting in and of itself, because the banking institution's like on the verge of utter collapse in the United States, which will absolutely ripple into the entire global economy.
Yep.
So
which will print a bunch of fucking money, which will then flow into fucking Bitcoin.
yeah.
Which, if you look at like what happened to the Silicon Valley Bank failure, Bitcoin low-key pumped. You know, the thing is, people look for assets, hard assets like gold, like silver, you know, government bonds, whatever the fuck, because they want somewhere to park their money. Like, here's the thing: when the whole system is like basically one like wispy fart away from the house of cards blowing in, where do you put your money, bro? Because it ain't gonna be safe in dollars. Like, look, I don't want to go too conspiratorial, but I think having a diversified spread of your assets in different currencies / stores of value like gold, like Bitcoin, is a good way to hedge your bets, because we don't know how bad things are going to get, right? Like, I think we've been kicking the can down the road for too long. Whatever they've been doing with the financial system, we know it's not working. We all know it's not working, and if you go ask people in the street, they know it's fucked. It's like, don't look up. Oh, no, everything's fine. The Ponzi continues. Ponzi's are great, but you got to let them fail and restart from the ground up. Capitalism needs forest fires of recessions and market depressions for it to continue. And even though capitalism is likely on the way out, thanks to advancements in artificial intelligence, there is still maybe 500 to 1,000 years left of it. And boy, we are ready for a forest fire.
You're tapped into the timeline, aren't you? We've spoken about that before.
Oh, yeah,
Can you explain that? Because people don't. This is what I mean when I say it's predictable. History repeats itself in this world. It's just the fact that in our lifespan, by the time you're dead, the people after you aren't going to hear about what happened before unless you go looking for it. But can you explain? It's like every 80 years, but it's in 20-year segments.
Well, it's actually like a lot bigger than that. So you have like intergenerational cycles. You know the meme about like hard people create good times create weak people create hard times, whatever the fuck. Well, that's actually, if you extrapolate that over, 100 years, 1,000 years, 2,000 years, you can kind of see the fall of empires rise and start. You can see the average, lifespan of a country begin and end. And if you look it up, if you look at the 80-year cycles all the way back to the thousands of years, like things are gearing up for a generational shift. Like, we were born into a very interesting period of transition where we kind of have this transition from away from the current system, but it's also like historically this has all been adding up to one big shift.
This is like the whole thing Ray Dalio talks about.
Yeah, no, he's kind of based.
The changing world order.
His books are
Also, on top of that, the thing about Ray Dalio and the changing world order, he's also heavily invested in a lot of Chinese companies, so it is in his interest to kind of promote that narrative, which I think he doesn't really disclose in that whole thing, and I think viewers should probably know about that as well. So yeah.
Hey, everybody's pumping their own bags, bro. That's the one thing in the crypto space. Like, I'm not sure what level of knowledge your average follower has in crypto. It's best to assume everybody has a vested interest in talking about what they own or what they're involved in. And if you don't believe that, well, you might be a retard.
It's true.
That's a good way to put it.
I'm done beating around the bush, bro. We're not in this we're in this to win, bro. This is a war. Being in the markets is a war.
Yeah, and I to touch on what Lucas is saying, it's funny because if you're on crypto Twitter and stuff, you know that, especially in crypto, it's very tribal. There's a lot of cults and people are just yelling at each other like, my coin is better than your coin and this and that. And at the end of the day, everyone's just promoting what they're invested in.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to bring something up that back to what you were just saying. I had a conversation. We did a podcast yesterday with a guy named Kyle who works for ICP. Mm-hmm. Pretty high up. What is his position exactly?
I think he's the head of data analytics at Definitive.
Correct. Yeah, so he's pretty high up, and he's talking about one thing, and you guys let me know what you think about this. He says exactly what you were just saying. It's very tribal right now, right? And it's not going to fucking get anywhere if it stays tribal. right? I really don't think it will. And he's like, so the whole point of ICP, and this is a big crypto of mine. You guys know I love it. You love it, right? We're gonna talk about more of it tomorrow. I know you like it. I don't know if you guys are a fan of it, but he's talking about how ICP is trying to bridge that gap of tribalism, right? Bring everybody over to one chain where they can build and do what they want to do. Okay. So what's your thoughts on it?
That's a narrative that every chain wants to peddle. We're bridging the gap. Guys, we're bridging the gap. That's a load of hooey, because at the end of the day, it's still not the asset that they want to pump. XRP motherfuckers have not been in profit. They have not seen an all-time high since 2017. Bro, they will die on that sword, because to admit that they're wrong is to admit that they've been fooled and that they're stupid. Unfortunately, stupid people don't realize they're stupid. If in a perfect world, ICP would bridge the gap. But the problem is, motherfuckers got opinions about their own bags, and if it ain't their bag, they ain't interested.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and another thing that I talk about with cults and kind of like crypto and the tribalism, to a degree, it is necessary to have sort of like cultish behavior in crypto in order, for it to move forward. I think, especially in the early days of Bitcoin and stuff, this thing, Bitcoin in itself literally was the OG rug pull. I don't think a lot of people understand that the OG core devs of Bitcoin abandoned the project initially, and it was kind of just a thing, and then developers stepped in to kind of pick up the project. This was, of course, right after Genesis and all of that back in 2009, 2010, all that stuff. But, to have a degree of cult is kind of necessary, because at the end of the day, there's going to be people who have a different worldview, especially about crypto, and are going to say it's a scam, it's a fraud, and this and that. And there has to be people to hold the line.
Right.
Nor do I don't think it has to be the whole thing, but I think there needs to be a certain percentage of
I
the
agree,
cult.
but let's bring the cult to one country, and essentially, right? Let's bring the cult and everybody come in and cult together.
It's kind of like a religion to some degree, because a lot of people turn to crypto to get a way out of the system that's kind of screwed them. Like people in debt, people who literally can't pay their credit card bills right now, taking out second mortgages. Like the debt bubble is at a massive point right now. And so people will turn to the only thing that they see as a viable way out and kind of staple their entire identity or create it like a religion. And then their coins that they found that somebody else convinced them is the way out of their struggle right now. They just staple their identity to it or their self-worth. And then they just run with it. So like, as unfortunate as it is that people like really do just to the point where they will hold something like XRP and not make any money on it for a very, very long period of time just because they watched a couple people on TikTok or on YouTube tell them that it's the new financial revolution.
Like, just clarify, there are a lot of people that got into XRP early.
Dude, crypto
the core
just
initial
like
cult.
Name a project.
What?
Name a project.
Oh, now you put me on the spot. Like any project or
Any project.
No, but the cultiness is needed in the beginning.
Oh, well, that's
That
like the XRP.
bull run, but people bought the peak.
Well, yeah, but the thing
Like,
is,
the fact is, I'm just saying this out of context. Like, I was buying XRP. Like, my lowest buy on XRP was like 14 cents. I'm in profit.
Yeah, but you're not the masses. You're not someone who bought at the peak. You were selling at the peak. You were not someone who turned to crypto to look for the way out, got convinced to buy something after everyone else had already made a bunch of money because you were jealous and FOMO'd into it, and then are bragging about being down 80%, 90% on it because it's the new thing. It's like it's going to give you financial freedom. It's different.
So this is one thing I do have an opinion on, and this is just coming from, being the CEO of like a marketing agency, biggest and best marketing agency in Web3.
Let's go.
And then biggest hype man.
Subtle shill of his company.
I needed to say, people neglect like how important marketing is. But there's only so much you can like front run the marketing. There's only so much you could get people to talk about it. The most important thing you can do is actually have an educated community. And eventually, it's like a wheel effect. They will do the marketing for you. And, yes, there's tribalism in crypto. Yes, there's arguments. Yes, there's people that love this and hate that. But the fact is, that wall that you're talking about at the end of the day, they're the people that are diehard talking about it every day on their platforms, commenting on everyone's fucking tweets.
Yep.
And even if it's one person at a time, those people are doing a job. They're serving a purpose for that asset. And low-key, there's that saying, there's no such thing as bad press. If you're arguing, you're still bringing attention to a desired asset.
I think we all do that with our content too.
The only problem is the
writers.
narrative which they choose to portray. There is a dark side to the XRP. There's a diluted side to it.
well, dude, I'm going to make a very controversial statement. If the XRP/Ripple lawsuit never happened, that thing would not be in the top 50. I'm going to be real. That thing was the best free marketing for any coin. Barbra Streisand effect, bro. All of the 50-year-old, middle-aged, balding white guys with Oakley sunglasses
I feel personally attacked right now. That's crazy.
in their trucks in middle America hear about the financial system being replaced by the secret asset that's fighting the government. Coach JV and Crypto Mason are responsible for an entire generation of white dads being balls deep into an internet coin that will never make them the money that it should. And let me tell you this, when the entire market has ripped a 10x, and your coin cannot even get a semi-flaccid erection, what the fuck is your problem? The opportunity cost of being in a coin like XRP, where there is clear dumpage by Ripple. They are literally launching a stock and being like, yeah, guys, the value's in the stock. And they're going to literally dump on them too after that. When you see the whole market go up and your opportunity cost in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity is pissed away because you think that there's some grand conspiracy that is gonna
589,
dude. Oh my god,
it's going to 589.
Just on the XRP.
The fucking
says.
no,
Sorry,
it's going
there.
Because we need to get on to I want to make clear, every foundation and every project dumps. Arbitrum's about to have a massive unlock.
That's fine. That's not my problem.
No. But my point is that the fact is, like, you have to understand that these cryptos, decentralized assets, one part of it, they're still backed by, like, foundations that need to fund things.
They need liquidity, and that's fine. Look, every project gets liquidity through dumping. That's a common thing. Look, dumping is just a part of crypto. That is just, it is what it is. But like, Ripple has misled their holders, because at the end of the day, like, even the guy, what's his face, the XRP marketplace guy, literally said that they're misreporting the volume.
No, this is one thing, and this comes from me. Like, first of all, I'm an XRP holder, but I'm a fundamental researcher. So when I look on the back end, I'm like, okay, what is the potential of it? Is the asset being utilized for its intended purpose? If you look at Southeast Asia, XRP is being heavily utilized for on-demand liquidity. And realistically, if you're looking for XRP to gain in value, legitimately or fundamentally, on-demand liquidity adoption is the only thing you should really be paying attention to. But of course, speculation drives a lot of stuff as well. But onto the XRPL, and I've got an NFT project on the XRPL. We'll be bridging over to Corium. But the XRPL itself is a fucking joke. It's run, it's supposed to be decentralized, but it's run by a bunch of validators that are in a group chat together and fucking just decide on what they want and what they don't want, which completely defeats the purpose of a decentralized network. And yes, the XRPL did lie about the on-chain data, which is a joke. They're trying to make out that it's absolutely popping off right now. Volume is trash. The XRPL offer no support to projects building on top of it. They offer a few grants, but other than that, they don't reach out and help anyone, which is a joke. If you're a decentralized network, you want to aid and support the multiple projects building on top of it. There's a ton of things wrong, but the problem was, and I think it all comes back to, the XRPL got a ton of hate because everyone called it a centralized coin, a centralized system, etc. So pretty much Ripple or the XRPL themselves, like David Schwartz, they basically just said, well, fuck this then, and they left it alone. And it's at a point now where it's wrong.
Tumbleweeds through the desert.
Yeah, it's genuinely trash, and it annoys me because it's like it had potential. Like, they had a diehard community. You know what's crazy as well with the XRPL? Majority of XRP holders don't even interact with it.
Because they're 50-year-old white guys.
Because they don't care.
They don't know how to. They don't care. They're listening to here are the top coins I'm buying. XRP, 589 with the fucking that one audio that on TikTok. It's like dude, if I see one more video of that, I'm gonna blow my head off right now.
Low-key, they get views though. So.
I know.
I want to talk a little bit about foundations and decentralization and centralization. I don't think a lot of people understand that when a blockchain is, initially released, Genesis, all that stuff, it's good for it to be a little centralized at first, and there needs to be, a foundation providing support to the projects. It cannot just instantly, of course, decentralization is a spectrum, and that whole thing can be debated, but I personally believe that foundations at the initial release of a blockchain need to be supporting, and it should be a little bit centralized because we need smart people making key decisions in order for this thing to, succeed. Of course, I believe the long-term vision should be decentralization, but that's never the case off the bat when a blockchain is released. That's just not how it works.
But no. Your spot, the biggest thing for any layer 0, layer 1 especially, is you need to incentivize people, and this is something we're passionate about at Zoom because it just makes sense. That's not even the case. It's any layer one. The biggest mistake, and I hope like some founders are listening to this, the biggest mistake all of you are making is you're focused more on just projects building on your chain as opposed to just increasing the fucking volume. You have to understand if people are there, and this is why marketing is so important for projects, and actually educating people on what asset they hold, why it has potential, etc. Once the volume is there, the devs will come to you. Like your grant program, I swear to God, so many chains just chuck money down the drain at these devs, and devs love money. Like these devs are just basically super smart people. Low key, they'll just run to any chain and they chuck like 50 grand, 200 grand like grants. It's crazy. They will take that, build on top of it. Realistically, at that point, they could just chill. They're like, well, it served my purpose. Yeah. Unless the chain is genuinely incentivizing new people to come on, marketing, making their chain out to be something.
Yeah. And let me add this. I think that there's an extreme shortage of popsicle sticks because they have to be up these founders' asses. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, I know you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Your ego needs to be checked at the door, bro. You have too many people holding your shitcoin to be fucking like swinging your dick around.
The egos are actually insane.
It's
like
nuts.
actually talking to some of the devs or the project founders in real life, it's just like you can see them not give a shit about what you have to say because you haven't written a smart contract before. It's wild. The
bro,
egos.
motherfuckers can write a smart contract, but can they hold a conversation, bro?
No,
Jesus
they can't.
Christ.
Dude, you can write a smart contract now with AI very, very easily. I mean, deving now has become pretty easy. But on, what you were saying about, what were you talking about just right now?
In regards to onboarding, you need users, you need volume on the network.
Yeah, so a good example of this would be Solana. Solana's doing a great job of this. We all know now that there has been a big, meme coins have shown that there's huge demand for them. However you feel about it, at the end of the day, the market has responded to meme coins. If you take a look at the three biggest winners from in the first initial run-up we saw, at the end of 2023 from, Near Protocol, Avalanche, and Solana, the winners were Nico from Near, it was Kakinu from Avalanche, and it was Bonk from Solana. At the end of the day, what's driving all the volume on Solana, which is one of the second biggest blockchain at this point, is
Anthem's Telegram.
well, it's really the meme coins.
That's
It's the meme.
But shout out to my boy Ansem, actually.
Yeah.
He's carrying the Solana ecosystem on his back.
Yeah,
Let's be real.
but when it comes to developers and stuff, developers are going to want to come to chains where there's already volume and stuff going on. They're not going to want to. I completely agree with you saying they're hosting. These chains are hosting hackathons, they're giving out grants, and it's like, dude, there's no volume here. These devs realize, I could go to Solana and I could do a lot more damage there. Now, of course, it'd be a lot more competitive, but they know there's a user base and people are willing to, actually like.
Bro, look, these devs could cook up like over $1 million in a year,
dude,
by just doing fucking hackathons and grants. Devin for the sake of deving.
Oh yeah, I'm sure some of you guys know about this. What happened in the Harmony blockchain?
Oh, God.
That was a complete disaster. They had the worst grant program ever. There was this this NFT project, and I think it was like a kind of like, I'm not completely sure, this is kind of out there, but it was some sort of like woman in Web3 NFT, and they got $1 million grant, and they just rugged. Like, it was a complete fraud scam. The Harmony Foundation did literally no due diligence on the projects. I think it was in a bear market as well. I think 2022. These guys, or whoever it was, literally just got $1 million and just ran away from it. And it's like, at the end of the day, dude, nobody was fucking using Harmony anyways. I mean, it was a joke ass chain.
If they spent that $1 million on actually marketing itself, as opposed to that thing could have fucking it's great. Solana is I'm so glad you brought that up because I wasn't even thinking about it at that point. Solana is a blockchain that does not, let's be real, doesn't have longevity. A network that crashes every fucking 6 to 12 months or more, depending, guarantee you we're going to see so many more outages in this one run.
Many more.
How many was there in the last one? 8?
There was something like that. I don't know.
It's crazy.
Well, I can tell, but no one. That really tells you nobody gives a fuck.
Exactly. All that matters is the volume. And these meme coins, these fucking NFT projects, they are selling the fuck out because the demand is there and the volume's there.
It's interesting to see on something like Solana, because Solana has not even gone through a complete market cycle yet. Solana came out post-halving last cycle in 2020. So it's something I actually was going to bring up earlier, but then we moved on really quickly. A lot of these crypto projects have a half-life where they only get to live really and have a flourishing ecosystem for one market cycle. And that has a lot to do with just our short attention spans and chasing after shiny objects, right? We all go after the newest narrative that's out there.
Yeah, Casper, the new one, right?
Oh my God, dude.
Money cycles into the newest thing that can come out. Whatever can get people's attention is really where most of the money ends up flowing.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, this is actually a big thing that I was discussing in my Telegram, and it's that I'm bullish on Cycle 1 coins and not grandpa, bag holder, old guard, YouTuber shield bullshit like fucking Cardano or XRP or this other bullshit, man. Get the fuck out of here with that, man. That's no
Litecoin.
offense. Litecoin. Dude,
I'm waiting for it.
Dude,
I knew it was gonna happen.
Charlie Lee on the fucking all-time high of Litecoin tweeting about that shit, dumped his bags. We know this. And so, like, dude, the founders are checked out, bro. Charles Hoskinson, what the fuck is he doing?
Arguing online.
Is he just streaming from his mansion ranch, bro? Actually, that was a W grift. Shout out to Jed McCaleb, Brad Darlinghouse, Charles Hoskinson, Charlie Lee, whoever the fuck Satoshi was. Bro, y'all grifted. Y'all good now. Oh, no, we're helping Africans. That's, okay, big meme. All right, let's see the smart contracts. Let's see the DeFi ecosystem. These bag holders, man, are going to actually make it so hard for these coins to go up. I know motherfuckers that are just waiting to hit the sell button on Cardano when it gets back to $1.20 or whatever the fuck it was when they bought it. The point is, like, there are bag holders in these assets that will be so hard to get past. There is liquidity there that is going to be selling all the way up. Now, the one benefit is that people look at the all-time high and go, well, it can reach there because they have the brain of a fucking mouse. But at the end of the day, the bag holders are still there.
Yeah. Do you have a comment about that, Ty?
I have to. Well, first of all, make sure we cut that part out. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I'm a big fan of Cardano because I feel like this ecosystem, not the ecosystem, but the whole fucking market, we're still so far away from actual mass adoption. I don't think it's coming this cycle, and they still have a chance to get themselves where they need to be. But I will say, if Cardano's DeFi doesn't pick up this cycle, if big things don't happen in the ecosystem this cycle, I will not be holding on to Cardano after this cycle. But I'm not going to give up on him just yet. I do like Charles Hoskinson. I think that their entire team, I'm a fan of them.
Cardano's annoying to use.
I get that, and I totally get that. And I think at the end of the day, like I just said, if this ecosystem doesn't become easier, user-friendly this bull run, then no, I'm going to be getting out of it.
Smart.
But I am going to give him another chance this bull run because you made me fucking rich, Charles. So and I'm hoping that you make me rich again. But no, I mean, but with that said though, I do have ICP's now my largest bag, right? Cardano was my largest bag. And I'm very open about that, right? Cardano's now my third largest bag because cryptos have creeped up, right? And I've bought other stuff, but I'm still. I'm going to hold on to it just because I think that there's a lot to say with what they're building, and that whole tortoise in the race or tortoise in the hare. You guys heard that story? Mm-hmm. I go down that road. You may not like that. I get it.
Well,
but
let me say this: I bet on tech because after all the bullshit, tech wins, and I think we see that. Like we see that certainly with Nvidia, considering that their valuation is higher than most countries' GDP. But
crazy.
Look, when it comes to Cardano, I was in the same boat as you last cycle. I was like, well, maybe look, they were very innovative in 2017. They did jack shit for fucking years, and then it pumped, and there still wasn't smart contracts, and there still wasn't an ecosystem. And I'm going to be honest, dude, the thing of it is that we're in a stampede right now to be relevant. There's a stampede of relevancy. And the long and the short of it is the best tech is not going to win. Betamax, nobody used Betamax. It was superior. But there's been a long, long history of tech that is technically superior that nobody gives a fuck about because they didn't get the market share. They weren't easy to use. Motherfucker, no one wants to use Haskell. No one wants to program in Cardano's nerd smart contract language. When there's real layer 2s that you can program in fucking anything, dude. There are chains right now that I know that are building that you can program in any smart contract language, bro. Like, bro, even Solidity, as old as that shit is, at least it's still like being used and it's relevant and people know it. Like, you have so many hurdles. Like, there's just a mountain of things about Cardano that make me just not want to hold it. Now, will it pump? Yes.
Yeah.
Anything's gonna pump.
let's stop there. I want to reiterate what he just said too, because will it pump? Yes.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
It is. Just so you guys understand, like I just said this. Am I going to hold on to Cardano forever? I don't know. If my bags get to $8-10 a Cardano, You better be. I'm gone.
I have a bet with Crypto Mason about XRP, and you know what's funny is Crypto Mason knows he's backed himself into a corner, and he can't stop shilling XRP, or his core audience leaves because he's like, it's kind of like the Pied Piper leading a bunch of rats around the fucking sewer. You know, you can't keep fucking shilling this dead shitcoin, dude. And he's slowly transitioning out. Like he's like, guys,
He's going to H bar now.
well,
God.
let me say this. He went from one shitcoin to another, but he literally made a video, and I remember this because I made an edit of it, and it was hilarious. And he was like, guys, I'm no longer buying XRP because it's not making money. I'm going to go put my money into things that make money. But no, I'm going to park like a bunch of money in here, even though it's not going up, and then we're just going to leave it at that. That was his like ultimate defeat signal.
Yeah.
I did watch that video. He did. Yeah.
I like to comment on just like kind of what you guys are talking about real quick. Of course, this is like not financial advice, but what I look for personally is to swim into a wave. And that's personally why I'm bullish on, ICP and Near, because they are two new chains and they're very raw, and there's still some things that are not too great about those chains, but people in the ecosystem, a lot of you guys who are watching this, you don't really know this because you're not heavily involved or whatever, blah, 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 but there's people actively working to fix these problems. And that's what I personally like seeing. I like seeing a lot of potential. I like seeing, hey, the ecosystem's actually working to solve these problems that are kind of stagnating the blockchain. And that's what I think, where the upside is. A lot of people, they're always trying to chase the thing that's already hot. But if you want to, actually make gains in crypto, you got to be swimming into an industry or a sector or whatever that, is on the come up. And
The money has to be
there.
either rotating in or not rotated yet. Like if you really want to win in crypto, it's fucking easy.
It's narrative trading.
It's not financial advice. It's narrative trading, and it's watching where the on-chain money flows. I watched billions of dollars flow from Ethereum about a month ago or so into Sei, billions of it, and it was way more than any other coin. And guess what shit ripped? It was Sei, dude. And, at the end of the day, this is why you should be using blocks. Go to blocksolutions.app, bloxsolutions.app. How to show my analytical tool. We're all building it together.
Yeah, coming out soon.
It is very interesting. I'll let you guys know when Blocks is ready to go. For sure. I got you on that, for sure.
My dog. Let's talk about faith. I think that's a big component of this podcast, and I think they might need some Jesus after my comments.
Yeah, so let's go there. So we're gonna talk about some different narratives. But before we do, I want you guys to understand with this podcast, right? It's faith, family, fun, fitness, right? There's a bunch of stuff that we're gonna talk about. But at the end of the day, we're all fucking human. And you're gonna get the real us, right? So you may not like it, you may like it, but this is one of the realest groups of people that I have ever met. I want to make sure you guys understand that. So don't get it twisted if we say things that you may not like. There's some good people here, but we're gonna go into a whole faith thing real quick. I guess you want to start that. Let's leave it to you to start that, right?
Redemption arc.
So I've been on a long spiritual journey, and I've researched a lot of different religions and shit because I had that quarter life crisis of or maybe it's the half-life crisis, you don't know, but where it's you're realizing that, oh my God, I was born into this world with no will of my own to be born, and then the years fly by so quickly. What's the fucking point of any of it? Is the point of it just to fuck and have another kid and then make some bread, acquire currency? So I started researching different religions. So Abrahamic religions like Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and as well as eclectic religions too, like Taoism, the philosophy of Stoicism, the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Buddha, Siddhartha and Vishnu, as well as a couple other things. Basically, I don't know what's going on, but I'm willing to learn more. I think the furthest I've gotten is that I feel like we're all part of one giant consciousness that fractalized itself like a fucking shitcoin NFT project, and basically we're all little pieces of that giant consciousness. That's the best I've gotten.
I think it's interesting because you touched on pretty much every major religion out there when you were going on your tangent about your learnings recently. I think it's interesting to note that most major religions have extremely familiar commonalities between them. They all talk about flooding. They all talk about a lot of key things that probably did actually happen. It's just our memory on all of the world events for the past however long you believe the world's been around is faded because we haven't had a good way to keep track of everything. And me personally, I grew up Christian my entire life. I was an altar server for from second grade until I graduated high school. So I had my entire core childhood was rooted in faith and rooted in Christianity. And it is interesting though, just you can be born like that and raised like that, but then at some point you kind of have to venture out a little bit and figure out what makes sense to you and what religion. And I'm finding the more that I'm like experiencing life, the more I am just kind of reverting back to my roots, back to Christianity. But I think it's all part of it. Like, everyone has to go through it. Everyone kind of has to go through their own religious journey in life.
I agree. So I went to a Catholic high school, believe it or not, and I'm not a fan of the Catholic religion. Just want to be clear, I'm not a fan at all. But I've been noticing one key thing, and Javi, my producer over here, we were talking about this when we went to Atlanta. We met with a couple of guys. A guy named Will Aru. There's a guy named Jeff Levitan, who's probably the most wealthy person and most successful person that you guys don't know. Put it that way. That no one knows, right? We met with James Arthur Ray. Anybody here know James Arthur Ray? Well, you have to have a conversation with him.
I know that he has 3 first names, and he was into some movies and stuff.
Yeah, he seems
pretty chill though.
He's actually a really cool dude. He's but here's the one common denominator that I got from all these people. First of all 3 of them multimillionaires, all 3 of them uber successful, right? But the one common denominator is that they believe in a God, right? And they're very, very connected to whatever their faith is, right? And I think it's important that, like, we could talk about crypto all fucking day. We can talk about money, talk about Kate, you can talk about Trump, you can talk about politics. Doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, you need to be connected with something that's higher than us, because there's no fucking way that there's not something beyond this. There can't be. There's no fucking way. There's no way. And the one thing I want to say to people is the most successful people in the world, they have some type of faith, right? Their faith may be the fucking devil, right? They have some type of faith, right? And it's very important that you guys get connected with that, because once I did, and I have been more recently, dude, the fruits of the labor. Like, I'm sitting here with you guys, there's a lot of things happening. I've met some people I never thought I'd be able to get mentored by, and I feel better. And when I started to really think about faith and like what's coming or what's going to happen after this life, and I accepted the fact that, like, there's got to be something, I feel so much better in life.
You need a guiding post. You need your lighthouse, and religion gives that to a lot of people, especially as a man. You need something to strive for, to actually like see improvements in your life. Having something that's like higher than you, that you might not know all the answers to, but like you need something like that.
It makes me a better dad. I mean, I have 3 kids, and none of you guys have kids, right? I'm the only one.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Not that I know of. So I've actually studied a bunch of like near-death experiences because I'm fascinated by what comes after. And there seems to be a lot of like very common instances, which is people getting to see their loved ones or things in the room that aren't there. It's very consistent. A day where they are completely recovered for like a single day so they can say goodbye to their family, a white light, a feeling of peace, everlasting joy. And also as humans, I think we need something to believe in as a society, or it just breaks down. So they have to have something to believe in, whether it's money, power, or religion. Everyone has to believe in something to get them out of the bed. Like, at the end of the day, religion is paramount to the success of the human race at this point, because if motherfuckers ain't coming to work, bro, this shit's going to zero, and the whole system's gone.
So think back to before technology, before we could be talking on video, all that, right? How the fuck did they control the masses? It was through religion. Right? You had to give these people something to believe in, right? And today, now that we can talk about it, and it's so open, and we can say what we want, and video this and video that, and talk about this, so many things have been shared, it's become super fucking confusing, right? And so, I mean, I don't know where I'm going with this. I just wanted to bring that up and see if I could spark any interest there, because, like, I really think that's what happened. Like,
no, it's true.
They controlled the fucking masses with religion.
Kind of highlighted something Patrick said, because now it's like everyone's controlled in a different way, whether that's through like media, propaganda, narrative, etc. The thing that's interesting now is that people aren't really like driven, or at least in our society anymore. They're not really driven too much by religion, and that ties into what you said, is the fact that it's kind of like, it's even more of a privilege now. It's beautiful, the transition, because I think everyone probably goes through it, because when you're raised a certain way, that you always have that rebelliousness inside you, where you want to, I used to go to church every week. I was going to I don't even know what to call it, after school club, but it was at the church kind of thing. And then eventually you're just like, oh, I don't want to do this. So, you know, you make your own way through life and stuff. And I think it was actually like a pretty, it was actually when I was later in my teens, I got into some, you know, stuff that, you know, wasn't always great, but basically it all came back to afterwards that, you know, I always felt that there was a higher power above, basically. And I feel like I can only speak for myself as a man. There's something like reassuring, or at least character building, in the fact that, you know, you're praying to something. It's basically an outlet for you to talk to. I know a lot of us guys, we don't tend to open up much, you know, but I do like to open up to the man above, basically. And I found like reassurance in the fact that, you know, you don't really get anything back, like, directly, you know? And that's kind of like a metaphor, or like, for being a man, isn't it? You know, you're put out there, especially as all of us entrepreneurs, we've made our own way in life, kind of thing. In
it's
the
like
fact that
Dax, he talked. You know Dax? You know
Yeah.
Dax is. He has a song and he talks about that. Like,
yeah, like it's crazy. It's like, as a man, especially entrepreneurs as well, everyone can relate to this. You wake up every day, nothing is promised, and you just have to go and make shit happen. And that's the same, you know, praying to God. The only difference is that when you do pray to Him, I speak for myself, is like there's this reassurance. I don't know what it is, and there's this beautiful part as well. You know, a big problem I have is when I speak to Him, I feel like I'm asking Him for too much. But realistically, God is never going to give you directly what you ask for. There's the saying is that He's going to give you the opportunity to get what you
guidance, and you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work.
And something, I just find peace in that. I think that's beautiful.
So the moral of the story, guys, and the reason why we went into faith on this is part of our podcast. It's not going to be the biggest part of it, but look, at the end of the day, if you're a fucking devil worshiper, fuck you. A lot of you guys want to know what narratives are coming. What is your favorite narrative?
Yeah, it's the narrative I have the most conviction in. I've built literally my entire brand as a content creator around it at this point, and it's what I had my background in before I even started creating content, is decentralized science. So I used to work as a shift lead for a genetic analysis company where I would lead like 15 to 20 scientists doing genetic analysis, and then I ended up losing that job and started making content more and more. And then when I found decentralized science, it really felt like one of those moments in life where, like, well, I don't know, it felt like God had created this little niche in crypto that I could finally talk about my passions merging together. But decentralized science, the best elevator pitch that I could give to everyone, there's two main points to it. The first is, if you think about what crypto actually is, what blockchain and crypto can actually do, it comes down to two things, in my opinion at least. It comes down to the ability to raise funds, create money. So you can raise funds for science through decentralized manner, through decentralized science. It also unveils that corporate shield that hides and protects a lot of the corruption that happens in corporate America, but corporate worldwide. And so, like,
speaking on that real quick, just not to interrupt you, but
no, you're good.
So like you talk about what you just said. There's so many things out there that have probably been cured, right? And because there's no blockchain, because things can be fucking deleted and hidden, and you know, we're never gonna know.
Yeah.
Until now.
Right. You put something on an immutable ledger, a blockchain, and now it's forever there. No, they cannot hide it. If it's been tokenized, if it's been put on chain, you can no longer hide it. So I'm extremely bullish about decentralized science. The thing that I think really seals the fate, and I know it sold you on it, Aaron, was the United States, about 20% of the GDP is in healthcare. It's all in science.
Yet somehow nobody can afford it.
Yeah, well, that's probably why, because it's 20% of the GDP. It's super expensive. But it's all, like, a lot of the decentralized science right now is revolving around healthcare. There's a lot more to it, but right now everyone's focus is there because it's really just a blue ocean. It's a money pit right now. And I think that it's going to provide a lot of clarity in the coming years. It's going to do a lot of good, in my opinion, as long as everyone, like, can kind of get on board with it and realize what's happening right now.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Right? And whether it becomes something that literally changes the world or not, it's going to be the step in the right direction.
Exactly.
And that's something that I think this world really needs. You know, we can talk about all the money we want in crypto and how we can all become rich and make all this money, but at the end of the day, the reason why I got into crypto was because I saw this giving more freedom back to you, me, both of you guys, right? Giving more freedom back to the world. And Yeah.
There's a lot of scientific innovation that's been completely lost
I see you
just
laughing.
due
What are
to
you laughing?
corruption.
No, it's just funny. All this money, and they still can't fund research into why crypto traders get no bro.
Speak
All
for
that
yourself,
money.
man.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Let's not open that can of worms.
No, go ahead, go there.
No, let's
I
not
think
go
I
to where
want
he
to.
was
Let's
trying to
just
go.
talk
about decentralized. Let's let
Yeah, let's
Patrick
talk about the nerds doing the science. And you know what? Look, there is a certain element to every narrative that is a grift, because grifting is part of life. And I think people misunderstand me when I say everything's a grift. This is grifting for a cause, and I think that's why I fuck with it. Also, because there's like the horseshoe theory of narratives is either really smart people are going to do this and buy into this, and you also want like really people to buy into it. So it's a merger between the two, because if are going to buy it and the smart people are going to buy it, it's like a beautiful Hail Mary of shilling. And so that's kind of what we're looking at here.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just now starting to explode. So as
Me
you
too.
look into some of these things, as you look into some of these projects, understand that they're extremely small, they're very speculative, and truthfully, as with every emerging industry, it's not specific to just one crypto, it's not specific to crypto in and of itself. Every emerging industry in the history of humankind goes through boom and bust phases, which means we're just starting with these DeSci projects, these DeSci coins. A lot of them are going to explode in value, become grossly overvalued because they're literally not going to have done anything yet, and then they're going to collapse down 90-95%. It's just how you get emerging tech. That's just what the cycle goes through in capitalism.
That's a very good warning. Like and you're gonna hear me and you guys. We talk about these cryptos that we're investing in. Axon, perfect example. That crypto is going to absolutely rip, right? But there's gonna come a point where it's not anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And just. The reason I'm bringing that up is because I think it's important for us, our viewers, to understand that eventually we will be selling our bags, and you don't want to be caught holding the bag.
And we hope,
You have to
all
cheat.
of you will be cheating too.
Well, that's kind of why I got so annoyed with those people who view crypto as a cult. It's because at the end of the day, if you make life-changing amounts of money, screw the cult, screw it, sell it, take your money out of the market. Because while we all hate fiat, I can't buy my McDonald's without it right now. So
I know we were talking about religion. I think I'm going to found the religion of cheating, because that's my philosophy this cycle.
What the fuck does cheating mean? I'm too old for this.
It means I'm going to take profits.
Okay.
It means I'm going to jeet my coins. And you know what, guys? Y'all need to start jeeting too. So if you want to become, a jeet master, you can subscribe to the podcast. And look, people get pissed off when I'm like, well, I'm going to jeet my bags. Because I've spent so much time in these ecosystems. I'm not going to hold a single coin past 2025. I'll rebuy when the market comes down. I am getting out of this market. This is my third cycle, all right? I'm basically the boomer of the group. Let's be real. And I'm telling you right now, that shit is going to come down hard. And it doesn't reflect the work that these people are putting in, because let's be real. Let's look at Axon. We have met the Axon team. They have a long storied history in their respective fields. They're coming into the crypto scene, and they're really building real shit. But
really
the market,
good people, by the way.
Yeah.
Really genuinely good people.
but the market doesn't care. The market will value it at what the market values it, right? And that's kind of the thing with all of these cryptos. So if you're faced with life-changing money, just sell and take profits on any crypto in general. If you're not taking profits, if you're not jeeting, you're not going to be winning long term. You have to jeet. Remember that.
Yeah, facts. No, well, going more in depth on that subject, decentralized science. I want to go down the road of shit that could get you in trouble talking about, and
let's do it.
Let's do it. What these motherfuckers talk about, right? Why they were canceled, right? So there's some really fucked up things that go on in science, and think about it. I genuinely feel, I'm gonna put a tinfoil hat on right now, I genuinely feel like there's a cure for cancers, right? I feel like there's a cure for fucking AIDS. I feel like there's a cure for a lot of fucking shit out there. Why are we not curing it? Because there's no fucking money in the cure.
Yeah, it's
There's
significantly
more money in
profitable.
treating it.
Yeah.
Facts.
It's way more profitable to keep everyone on the edge of death rather than have healthy long lifestyles. If you prolong the stages of dying, you can continue to pump meds into them and make money off of these ridiculously priced medications.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I remember years ago learning about this guy who had isolated different tumors and different cancers and hit them with different radiation and different vibrations, essentially, because, like, I don't want to get into quantum mechanics and quantum physics and everything, but essentially we're all made up of vibrating little particles.
I
and
just
little
vibrated
strings.
myself just now.
You did just vibrate, asshole.
That was about to be a fire clip.
I know you did. You fucked your dad.
I fucked him. Sorry, I love you.
Basically, we're all made up of vibrations to some capacity if you buy into the quantum mechanics and everything. And so he took these tumors of cancer and would hit them with different vibrations. And it, just like a wave, when they crash into each other and they cancel each other out, he found specific frequencies that he could hit these certain cancer cells with that would essentially just disintegrate them. They would die on impact, and just it only targeted that type of
crazy.
cancer. And he tried to take it public, disappeared.
So I wanted to. All right. So the poster behind me, there's a couple of goats on there, and Tristan Tate, the brother of Andrew Tate, he specifically talked about there's places. He goes, why do you want to be fucking rich? He's like, because if you're fucking rich, you can live a long fucking life, because you can go to certain places outside of the U.S., outside of the fucking, like, I forgot exactly where it was. There was a certain place in the fucking country. It might have been fucking Switzerland or something. You can go there, and if you have enough fucking money, they will pretty much cure any cancer that you fucking have by hitting it with fucking, like you're saying, a bunch of different therapies, different fucking chemos, until they find the one that works, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a cure for it. There's a cure for all of this shit. And what I'm so excited about with decentralized science is when those cures are found and they're put on the blockchain, it's like, okay, you can kill the guy that figured it out, but it's on the fucking blockchain. It's there, right? And then here's another thing. Going into Bitcoin, right? We were at this ETH Denver yesterday and the last couple of days, and we're listening to Kennedy talk, and we talk about money, right? And that's why all this money, 20% of the GDP going towards this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you can create money out of thin air and just keep on fucking creating money out of fucking thin air, right? You can keep on doing what they're doing, right? Well, what if you take the ability of money to be? What if?
I'm sorry. I kept trolling.
It's getting late. But what if you could take the ability, literally, of? Shut the fuck up.
Get out of here, dude.
What if you could take the ability of printing money away from governments? Then there's no incentive to basically, like, the what we were saying about the cure and how there's no money in the cure. Well, if they can't keep printing fucking money, then it doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Exactly.
So if you bring in Bitcoin, we tie our money to Bitcoin or some type of fucking currency like that. We can't just keep printing a bunch of money. And then you can actually put the actual findings of these different scientific projects on a blockchain. Dude, the whole world fucking changes.
Yeah. No, that's why they hate crypto so much. They want it to go away, is because it decentralizes the ability for people to print money on their own to some capacity, which is why I'm excited about decentralized science. Did you know that women, despite making up 50% of the population, only receive about 5% of the healthcare research?
I thought you were going to quote a crime statistic there.
No, no crime statistics. I mean, yeah, I guess technically it is a crime.
No, I didn't know that.
And so, like, decentralized science, I don't know how small cap cryptos we can talk about on here, but can I say it? Can I say it?
You can talk about it.
It's like a $6 million market cap now, but Athena DAO, like, they are dedicating everything about their decentralized autonomous organization to funding women's research. They're doing some really cool stuff over there, and it is all a team of women right now, so...
I would also like to say, we just mentioned this is something probably that decentralized science will change. Is that, like, someone like Axon, they've just pledged, what is it, like $333,333.33 to funding basically 333 to funding scientific research.
The opposite of 6666666.
Exactly. 6 the angel numbers.
Wouldn't that be just negative? 6666666?
I don't know.
That's the opposite.
Yeah, I guess
I don't even like hearing those numbers.
That's half.
But no, really, I mean, real talk though, it is a very interesting sector that I think is going to absolutely explode. It's right now under $1 billion market cap in terms of every single crypto that is in that space, and there's only a handful of them in the actual space.
The biggest one now, Axon DAO, is like a $50 million market cap, circulating market cap. It's a baby industry. It's tiny. Tiny as fuck.
Yeah.
So what's another industry that you like that you're focusing on this bull run?
Well, I've kind of I mentioned it at the start. I feel like when I mentioned tokenization, Like if I'm looking at like the fundamental next step for the markets, it is tokenization. It's like we're seeing a ton of legislation being passed all around the world. It's now funds in the UK can now be tokenized. And realistically, it's just the next step for the markets in regards to it makes everything more efficient. And it just makes sense.
Can we talk about tokenization of real world assets?
It's literally the same. RWA and tokenization are the same thing.
So as an example, right, real estate. I think it's something that everybody should get into eventually, in my opinion. You can tokenize real estate. So if you're talking about like being able to afford a project, apartment complex you want to buy into, or housing, or whatever the fuck it is, right? And you don't have the money to buy the entire thing, or the credit, or the money down, or whatever it is, you're going to be able to buy little bits and pieces of these projects, which I think is super fucking interesting moving forward.
It's just like you can buy stocks and shares today, they'll be tokenized as well.
You like LCX. LCX is a perfect example. The diamonds.
Yeah, Tiamonds.
Yeah, you can literally buy little bits and pieces
The
of
Square?
diamonds.
Something that I'm like, I see a lot on TikTok, especially because it's so like clickbaity. They'll say something like tokenizing real estate and putting it on the blockchain and be like, the entire global real estate market, if it goes on the blockchain, that means that LCX, I know they're not, are they doing tokenized real estate?
No.
They'll be like, this
Not
project
yet.
that's tokenizing
No,
the real
yet,
estate
like-
market is going to go to $18 quintillion in market
They're gonna
cap.
pump and dump buildings. They're gonna pump and dump buildings.
They already do, dude. They already do. But I just like the value capture is not necessarily the same with tokenizing real world assets, because the value of the house still remains in the house. It's not going to go to the blockchain. So I'm interested to hear your guys' opinion on it, because I know you're huge.
No, you just have to understand, like, not everything is like a pump and dump, like Lucas was saying. It's genuinely down to efficiency. If suddenly a house can be transacted without a middleman, that's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
That just got me bullish, actually, on tokenizing real estate, bro. They're gonna be pump and dumping the HUD developments, bro.
The point is they're not, because it's not for that. It's just the efficiency side of things.
There probably will be, but at the end of the day, that's not good. That's not what it's always going to be.
Well, it's like saying decentralized science is not about speculating on like a frozen banana, like the cryo banana stuff. But like, there's a fun part in every industry, and I just like to have fun,
Yeah. And
basically.
I guess I'll talk a little bit now. I don't want to regurgitate everything, Patrick said, but I really do like a lot of the stuff coming out of decentralized science, with Axon DAO, Research Hub, Athena DAO. It sounds really cool and everything. There's also something really cool that's coming to ICP very soon. But another narrative I'm very bullish on is DPIN. And, we have Render and a couple other, but the number one, DPIN project, technically speaking, is Internet Computer Protocol, aka ICP. And I think also within ICP, there is some very cool things going on with the DeFi sector. Now, a lot of people would say, hey, there's no money on chain, and the DEXs suck right now. But what they don't understand, but what I understand, is that there is a lot of development going on, and I like looking at where there's massive problems and money to be made. At the end of the day, DeFi is probably what's going to be the number one sector. Again, this bull run, I think DePIN's going to do as well, along with DeSci. But DeFi, in my opinion, is number one in crypto. I think it's going to stay as number one. And I think in ecosystems like ICP and Near Protocol, where there's a lot of development going on in those sectors, I think there's going to be a ton of money to be made. So
I'm bullish on Aaron CP.
Yeah. And also, kind of funny, recently, I don't know when this podcast is going to be out, so maybe a couple days from now or whatever, but at the time of this recording, the founder of Uniswap recently put out a tweet basically talking about what Dominic had already, thought of, years ago with the reverse gas model. If you didn't know, on ICP, nobody pays gas fees. It's, the developers who pay for gas. It's a very, very small fee that developers pay. The Uniswap founder was talking about how in the future it's basically going to be a reverse gas model, and that's what ICP already has right now. I think Dominic's definitely going to be vindicated with his vision in the next 10 years and everything. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be happening, including better marketing, a better, robust DeFi ecosystem, but, people are stepping in. There's a lot of builders helping on DeFi. There's, the marketing's changing, et cetera, et cetera. And I think, ICP is a little bit ahead of its time, and I think it's going to do, in my personal opinion, very well this bull run.
We're going to talk
Keep
tomorrow.
hitting your mic, Aaron.
Yeah.
You keep hitting the microphone, bro. You are actually a
Oh,
special.
that could have been a clip.
Well, now that the ICP shilling is over,
Jesus.
we've heard about DeSci, we've heard about DPIN. What about D's nuts? Okay, but for real though, let's talk about the thing I'm most bullish on. Now, if there's one thing we've learned, it's that rich people are not as smart as they want you to believe. Most of them are Doesn't have to be a smart person to get rich. But what has happened in every market in crypto since 2017 is that they find something interesting and then they leverage it to the tits. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And I'll tell you right now what's going to take this market down in I don't know fucking when, in 2025. But I'll walk you through what happened in the last couple cycles. 2017, we had 100x leverage for anybody with a fucking email. That was crazy. Okay, we don't do that anymore. Number two, we had in 2021, we had all these Ponzi APYs, algorithmic stable coins. Like, okay, that was a whole load of hooey. Now, what I'm very bullish on, but will end up destroying this market, is liquid staking / restaking. Basically, the simplest explanation is when you go to stake your Ethereum, you lock that asset up. What liquid staking is basically you locking that asset up with a third party. They stake it for you and they give you an IOU 1 Ethereum. Now the problem is they're going to do this, and they are doing this multiple times, like 2 to 3 times with the same Ethereum. So you've got basically created like 2 to 3 times the value of the Ethereum that was staked, and then you've also got Ethereum going up in price. So they're leveraging it to the tits. Liquid staking and restaking is very bullish, but it'll be the end of this market. Also, very bullish on Ponzi schemes, gambling, and infrastructure.
You gonna tell them, shout out who put you onto that?
Oh yeah, dude, that was Learn to Earn.
Here's the last thing we're going to talk about tonight, because I know you guys got to get going. I want to talk about AI.
The way I'm looking at AI specifically is that if your project, if your crypto, if your narrative does not wholeheartedly adopt and integrate AI, it's not going to make it. I know people view it as a narrative, and putting .ai at the end of your coin is going to make it pump, but at the end of the day, if you're not, even you personally right now, if you're not fully utilizing AI, you're not going to make it.
I also want to add in that there's the fun narrative side with AI, and everyone's going to hype it up and hype it to the tits, etc. But the fact is that people don't realize that AI and blockchain technology are genuinely like massively an integral part of each other. To have any sort of control over artificial intelligence, you need blockchain technology. So any worries you do have, like whether it be like AI becoming, what's it called, the sentient being,
General artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
Which is probably going to happen already.
Yeah, blockchain, well, they're probably testing it, but as in blockchain stops that basically. It allows you to put constraints on the AI and at least have some sort of control over it. So, there is legitimacy to the AI sector and blockchain tech, but there's also going to be the fun narrative side, which is realistically where a lot of people are going to make money. Another sector as well, gaming. That's definitely going to have a comeback. It did it in the last cycle.
Yes.
Play to earn gaming, like realistically, there's just another Ponzi narrative.
Can we connect? Okay, so I want to go back to AI in a minute, but I just text you so I didn't forget it. So augmented reality, right? So like you're seeing that with Apple now, right? Where I thought I was until I actually was talking to DZ, and DZ brought up a point to me, and he's like, I was like, we were talking about the metaverse and all that, and he's like, okay, let me ask you a question, Tyler. You can create this metaverse and you can buy land, you can do all this stuff, but like augmented reality is here, right? Like it's literally, you can put on a fucking headset and we could be sitting here, right? Or we can be sitting in different states and different countries, right? And be at the same place at the same time, right? And in your own living room while you're seeing your actual family, but also it's gonna be fucking nuts. I want to talk about that, like where we're going with that, like augmented reality. Like I'm still trying to grasp it.
It's very exciting, bro. I'm excited to never have to leave the house again, bro. Like I'm finna just be in that bitch 24/7.
No, for real though. Dude, so like sporting events, right? That's gonna be very, very, very fucking big. Like first of all, shit is expensive. We went to a fucking Nuggets game. We had good seats, but they weren't great. It's like $300. Right, just to go watch a fucking basketball game.
They are the best team.
Yeah, but still, it doesn't matter. Even if you go watch the Hawks, it's $180.
True.
Right. So my point is that in the average person, that's expensive. For me, okay, fine. It's not. I can do whatever I want. But most people, that's like once a year. They get to go see a basketball game twice a year. That's just facts. And that's the United States. Imagine the rest of the world, right? So now we can bring the rest of the world into what's going on in the US or wherever. So you want to go see a soccer game, right? And you don't have the money to go see a soccer game, nor can you fucking fly out to see fucking Manchester United because they're out in wherever the fuck they are, Manchester. But think about that. You're going to be able to literally sit in this seat, put a fucking mask on, and literally watch the game and feel like you're touching these people on the sidelines, and it's going to cost you $10.
Yeah.
Right? That's coming, and that's going to be fucking crazy. I want to know, the biggest thing though is like which crypto is going down that road. Is there going to be a crypto? Is there anything that's even there yet?
I mean, I think the closest you're gonna get is projects like Render, which is like DeepIn, because the GPU shit is very expensive. Like that's the reason Nvidia's market cap is jacked to the tits right now. I think like anything that's allowing you to train local.
Is that your stomach?
No, that was your fucking. no,
I
a lot
just
louder
shot
than that.
myself. I was like, what the?
Anything that's training local language models, because I think they're going to regulate that soon. I'm very bullish on that. And you know, I was talking to Default Trades, Justin, who's another member of Blocks, and I wish he could have been here because that guy's really smart. You should have him on your show. He was kind of explaining to me how the decentralized infrastructure is going to be so important to maintain the freedom of information with AI, because I mean, it's going to come to a point where AI is integrated in everything, and you know, at the end of the day, like all of the data that everyone's collecting, they're using to train these AI models, and at the end of the day, dude, that's gonna be like scary as fuck.
What happened with was it Google? Which one they created?
Yeah, it was Google's AI. It was extremely diverse.
And it like created like it was like a bunch of black people instead of like white colonists. And it was like George Washington was black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's super weird. It's part of the narrative they're pushing. Like my plan is that if AI becomes too powerful, I'll either or go to the woods. Those are the options.
Or AI will kill you.
This guy.
What? Why are you so controversial about that?
No, that's not. It's true though. So I want to talk about a crypto that I'm a big fan of in the AI sector, and that is Singularity Net. Right? And I swear to fucking God, if you say something bad about this crypto, I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna throw a bottle at your nuts again.
There's really nothing bad to say about it. Like they're building out the marketplace for AI on the blockchain.
We're talking about decentralizing AI.
Huge.
That's one of their goals.
Huge.
Right? I know you don't like Cardano, but they have a big connection with Cardano.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm still gonna cheat it. I mean, look, it's cool. I don't care. It's gonna pump, and I'll buy it when it goes down in the bear market. You know?
I think they just
about the
partnered with
actual
ICP too.
They did,
didn't they?
Yeah, they partnered with Fetch AI. There's a lot of
They're making
partnerships.
moves.
Yeah, Ocean Protocol. Obviously with Sophia, which is going to be fucking huge. Like that shit's crazy. But do you guys have any thoughts on it? I'm a huge fan of Singularity Net. I mean, I think right now you guys seen it's one of my fucking largest bags.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any adds to that?
Nah, I'm gonna be.
I could talk about like just AI for a little bit. I mean, anybody who's like kind of hating on AI, it's the future, and you should probably learn how to use it for your job or whatever. I don't think it's touching any blue collar work anytime soon. So if you're doing that, you're probably safe. But if you're doing some white collar job you saw in like 2021 where there's a big boom, Facebook, well now Meta, Google, all these companies, they were just hiring a ton of white collar workers who weren't really doing shit and just responding to a couple emails, maybe doing some Excel sheet work or whatever. Those people are about to get replaced, really quickly. So it's not really going to be the blue collar guys that are going to get touched, initially, maybe, hundreds of years from now, whatever. But I think in these next 5 years, it's going to be these white collar people who are, actually not, providing real value are just going to get cut out.
I don't know
really
about
quick.
hundreds of years though, because I mean,
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm
Boston Dynamics, man. Have you seen that shit, bro?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
The thing of it is like I
I've
mentioned
seen
this
that.
before. Capitalism is on its way out. This is coming from someone who loves capitalism because I like when people do things for me and I can pay them to do it. But I was a big supporter of Andrew Yang's campaign, I was like, I should have just bought crypto. But Andrew Yang, universal basic income is going to happen, or else everything falls apart because at the end of the day, dude, like, motherfuckers ain't got shit to do, bro. Like, we're either heading towards a Star Trek utopian future where motherfuckers are traveling planets and shit, and we can get into the aliens later, but, or we're gonna be in, like, a very dark, dystopian, cyberpunk, edge runners fucking bullshit thing where, basically, no one has any shit, and the people that have it are on Mars, so.
That's facts. Javi, I got a question for you. So you use AI to help cut these videos, right? Can you speak on that?
Yeah, the power of AI, I don't see it as something as a takeover like it is in the movies and all that. I see it as a tool just to amplify abilities we already have. You know what I mean? Like, we've always had AI because Siri, that's AI. When you say call Tyler, call whoever, that's AI is doing it for you, basically. So, maps, giving you directions, saying turn left, turn right. So like when people are so worried about AI, like obviously I'm concerned, you know, people could take advantage of it and could be abuse of power, but I see it as a tool to just amplify the skills you already have.
Yeah, I can see that. I think eventually there's going to be some crazy shit. So at the end of the day, you know, AI is going to amplify things, good or bad. Let's just hope we can regulate it. But I thank you guys for being here, all of you. This has been awesome. Make sure you follow.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, this has been a blast.
You guys, where can you? Are you going to post this?
I'll put it on there.
You're gonna put it on there. So if you guys want to follow any of these guys, wherever you can follow them, we're gonna be putting it in the link. The link.
Except
in the
for
bio.
me. Don't look for me.
No, look.
Everyone go follow him.